now.
Hey.
Hey.
Oh, hey, girl, hey.
Welcome. Hey, everyone. Happy to see you on this Tuesday. What's up, Dax?
Hey, Grant. Happy to be alive once again. I made it. I had food. I had breakfast. I got coffee. I got water. There's a diaper over here. Like, everybody, we're prepared. Anything.
We're prepared.
Anything.
Soak up whatever.
Yeah. Let's take a toast to being prepared. I got my crystals. We're good, man.
Looking good. All right.
Love you latte. Let's get it. What are we talking about today, man?
All right, I'll undon the Spider-Man. Welcome to Clone Attack Masterclass. My name is Grant, and this is Dax Miller. We're here today, all. For those of you watching and tuning in for the first time. This is a Clone Attack Masterclass, meaning Dax is going to go through this technology and show us a demonstration while integrating the use cases. Why is this important? So as Sprocketeer continues to try and get deeper into HubSpot and force into the reality of HubSpot super admins the priorities that we're going through, the technologies we're using, and the integrations we might be using, there are a whole bunch of other things happening. And HubSpot continues to grow, and thus the integration and app market continues to grow. So Dax and his team at A8 Labs are cooking up lots of awesome tools. We're here with another one today called Clone Attack. And like I said, he's going to be sharing with us how Clone Attack works and what it can do. Because at the end of the day, we as super admins need to know that the use case we run into down the line in the future with some client or in our own portal, when we run into that, here's the technology to install. So
that is the truth.
Yeah.
Truth.
Thank
you so much again.
Go ahead, man.
Yeah, it's a big thing, man. So thanks a ton, Grant. What's going on, Sprocketeers? What's going on, everybody? Happy to be alive, happy to be blessed. We're living in abundance. Let's talk about duplicating stuff. So one of the very, very first apps that we created as app commits to now A8 Labs was to solve this problem that pretty much everyone had. It was about mostly around recurring revenue, right? Hey, I have this deal, Grant. You bought some stuff from me, man. You bought this cool Toe Jam and Earl. You want it every year, right?
Right.
For everyone, shout out to Toe Jam and Earl. Let's go. You want to get it every year, so I'll make you a deal. Easy enough, create the deal. But what happens when I want to maybe have a renewal deal ready? What happens when I want to just duplicate that deal? You can play the copy paste game and copy all of the properties that you have on this deal, all those things, and then make sure to change the date to a year out. That'll take a couple minutes. Now imagine you got a team of 50 working in sales organizations, wasting all this time duplicating stuff, because unfortunately HubSpot doesn't have a way to duplicate stuff. So we built Clone Attack. And Clone Attack allows you to clone things manually or via workflows. Not only regular objects, but now coming up to be able to duplicate custom objects. So even in advance of having a CRM card on the custom object, which is another conversation for another day, which the HubSpot does not allow for just yet.
Right.
But what we can do is we can jump right into this. But let's talk real quick about use cases. Again, renewal deals. Let's talk about maybe you have a deal and you want to create that renewal. Let's say you just have a deal with the line items and you want to just copy over. They buy a 3-year term and they want to duplicate that. You want to duplicate that 3 times. You could just go duplicate really quickly. Let's just dive right into it.
Let's check it out. The use cases make sense. Check it out. I mean, we can duplicate and hit import. You can export, do a spreadsheet, literally copy it, re-import. No thanks.
Did you say spreadsheet? Did you say spreadsheet?
Thank you. You don't need to. Yes, you can. You don't need to do that. Clone Attack, you can click buttons and it'll be done the right way.
All right, so you're able to clone tickets, deals, contacts, and soon to be custom objects. So let's just quickly share my screen, make sure I don't do anything wrong. Screen share. Make sure I share I want the entire screen because I'm going to go hard. Wow, this is a lot of...
That's how we go.
Lots of buttons. Can everyone see? Grant, can you see my screen?
Let's see. Let's watch this stream. In the chat, hey, from Iowa, Shadab, welcome. Awesome. Thumbs up. We can see your screen, Dax.
Got it. So let's talk about this deal. This deal called My New Clone. We'll do a ramp up test. Let's ramp it up. So I have this deal ramp up test. So when you install Clone Attack from the App Store, available at your local HubSpot ecosystem, we're gonna load up this deal. And pardon my internet speed or my sharing speed. Looks like I'm having a good time here. Right? You're gonna see the Clone Attack CRM card once we load everything up. Like I thought I closed all my fun. There we go. So let's say I have this ramp up test. I'm imagining, Grant, if you can guess what button I need to click.
Looks like duplicate deal, huh?
It's easy. So again, pardon my load times. I think I closed it. Let me have all my stuff closed. It's always funny when you have like if you share, look at that alert. Start cloning custom objects. Are you still there, everyone? I just heard like a noise.
Yes.
Okay, I just heard something. Maybe someone joined. I was shocked. So let's duplicate this deal. So I can change the name. Let's say ramp up renewal. Fun. So you can change the name, and then you can bring over the association. So do I want to have the company associated? Do I want to have those products that are on this associated? I can choose to bring those over. If not, you just kind of leave them blank. And also I can choose a destination. So I can pick my pipeline and or stage. So since I only have one pipeline in this account, I can just pick the stage. I want to make it jump into appointment scheduled. And you're done. Copy now. Guess what? You want another one? Boom. Let's do ramp up renewal 2. Let's do appointment scheduled. Grant, you feeling lucky?
Yes.
We did it 3 times. So in that small little segment, well, again, my internet, shout out to Cox. We are going to duplicate 3.
We're gonna clip that section and also, right there, Dax. We'll just clip it.
Right. So now I can actually click and see that new deal real quick. Let's see. So it's going to jump over to that new deal. I feel like I'm like compiling C# code or something on the back end. Like I don't know why my computer's acting so silly. I should have put it like on. Yeah, I should have put it like on low def or something because there's all these options to share. So here's my new deal. It has the company, it has all the associations, has all the properties over. Simple, right? There's tons of, the use cases for this are pretty high.
Whoa. Wait a second. Again, Dax, I know this is probably my 3rd time pausing you in a demo. I mean, you just skimmed over. What did you just say? So on this record that you copied, there are associations. Yes?
All the associations that previously happened.
There are all the properties?
All the properties that were on that object are now on this new one.
And I got to set the stage.
I picked the stage, right? So this is all real. Let me.
With a click of a button, share. I'm able to copy all of those things automatically.
Yep. So that's one use case, right? If I'm going to manually create a deal and I want to manually create and jump into another one, really straightforward. So what we did though, let's talk about doing this automatically, right? So we'll jump right into the workflow. So we have a Clone Attack workflow object or workflow action that allows you to use HubSpot workflows and their glory to duplicate things. So if let's say it goes into sales pipeline close 1, and then I want to duplicate it automatically. So I can click this. You can see some of the things. You get to basically get the same idea. So I have this called ties copied deal. You could also use a deal token in the name. So I could be like, deal name renewal. You can choose what you'd like to bring over, the contacts, the companies, notes, etc. And you could choose that pipeline and that stage that it's going to go to in that action.
That's crazy.
So we said we have. So you can have this happen automatically all day.
What? I get all of the personalization tokens that I want to make for the title that can automatically be based on the type of clone that's happening as the enrollment trigger.
Correct. So let's just make this have 1 million or 10 million or 100 million or whatever that number is. So we'll save that. And let's actually test this out live. which sounds dangerous because my internet is being so happy right now. So let's jump right into it. So let's take up this ramp up renewal 3. Let's throw that thing into close 1 and see what happens. Boom. So now we have close 1. So we can let's look at all of our deals, and we should see this tie clone deal 1 million show up. And it's supposed to show up in presentation scheduled. So once this thing kicks, one of the sneaky things that I found out about workflows is like if you actually look at the workflow, because workflows run, for everyone's common knowledge, workflows run not instantly, right? Like it has to go into a little bit of a queue. And even on our end for the actions, we have to put it in our queue because we have hundreds of customers that could be sending thousands and thousands of infinite looped workflow actions to us.
Right.
So we kind of have to queue them and space them out and make sure they're okay. So when I look at this, I can kind of see that this is a thing. Long story short is it works, everyone. If it loads up, I can hit refresh on this, and we'll be able to see that new copied deal in the presentation scheduled. As long as the deal that I had wasn't already enrolled in it once before, but it was a new one, so it should be just fine. So we'll hit refresh, see how long it takes to load. But we'll be able to see that it creates that duplicate. In I forget which one I had, presentation scheduled or something like that.
Right. As that loads, Dax, and that makes sense. The queue, we all know how workflows, even when it shows in the log that it ran, it's really just saying that it sent this information to the server, and there might be something, like you said, on the queue side. In the chat, David Passman's talking about billing frequency, etc. All of those products, pieces of information, those being in line item detail. I think he's calling something out there. To me, what I'm hearing, and so correct me if I'm wrong, a product versus the line item deals, the line item details within that product.
We clone the line items. Yeah, well, the clone attack clones line items as well. So when you have that new deal, you're going to have those line items and that information on that new deal as well.
So does
that's actually a funny inside joke. I hope that answers the question. I can't see that screen.
So when we talk product library, I think product library and line item details of products. Is the product pulled over part of the deal as well?
Yes. So if you had line items on that given deal, you would get those on the new deal as well.
Heard.
So it would be the exact same line item as is going to be on the new deal as well.
Great. So if I'm putting a workflow together and I have a product category, let's say, and that category I'm using as they've asked for this category, then whenever I'm cloning, the only thing I might be changing is maybe the rep or the account owner or the AE. And so I'm getting all of those details of the products. I'm not having to every time re-add because I've already qualified them that way. And now I'm just adding it to a new deal because someone new has asked, and then I'm applying it maybe to a new AE or a BDR.
Yep.
Okay, that makes sense to me. I see that, and maybe that's what David's getting at. He's trying to figure out. So in the chat, he says how much to manually follow up work would be needed, if any. And that would largely depend, in my opinion, on what you're going to use the workflow ultimately to do.
Absolutely. So it does one thing, does it well. It duplicates stuff, contacts, tickets, deals, and soon to be custom objects. But there's also a little bit of paprika that we kind of sprinkled on this thing, which has to do with. And by the way, I just kind of verified that my workflow did run. It did copy everything over. I just forgot where it was supposed to land, but it landed where it was supposed to. I saw it thing, which is great. So one of the key things here too. Well, let me log in. Is we have a couple great features behind the scenes. When you log in, you'll be able to see there's a lot of default properties that you can set on cloning. So let's say, for example, every time I want to clone a deal, I want the is married field to be true, no matter what. You can actually set that as a field default. Let's also say, hey, I would like to, so we also, you get your logs, you get your settings, and you get your errors. So if anything happens, you actually have a log of your errors of why something didn't get cloned. Maybe it failed the workflow, etc. But let's say here's it. So let's say these are my CloneAttack field settings. So for contacts, no matter what I do, the marital status should not be copied, meaning I can skip that field. I want it to be blank on my new copy.
Gotcha.
I have this Facebook click ID. I can set a default value so that no matter what, it's always going to be 2. And the city is always going to be Park Forest for this. So I can actually have settings on when I do my cloning. Where this comes in, and these are all my different objects that I've cloned, where this comes in real handy, let me just make sure I click the right thing.
Ooh, this is great. So where we're at is on your dashboard in A8. And right now in A8 Labs back end, this is your dashboard. So once you install CloneAttack, you'll get access to this, right, Dax?
Absolutely. And
so that drop down he showed you over on the left is all of the options you'll be able to see. And so once you're in here, this is where you'll come to set these default settings. Will you open up that again, Dax, and show us? I saw contacts. You're on deals now. Just so we can see it. Tickets, contacts, deals, video game subscriptions.
We got real city listings. We got all the custom objects we have on this little account. So you can set defaults by object. So one of the key ones that people do is, hey, I want to know all of the things I've cloned or have cloned via CloneAttack. So we have a field on the deal called is made with CloneAttack. So whenever you clone something, it always sets it to yes. It's an easy way for you to see everything that was created via CloneAttack.
Mm-hmm.
And if you wanted to add a field, what happens is, man, I just love 56K. Like it's not overrated at all. When you add a field, it's going to suck down all the fields that you have, and you'll be able to make an update there. But one of the key things that you can do with this is that you can actually put some math into this, right? So what's the most common thing on a deal that sets? It's the close date, right? So when you do a CloneAttack, a lot of people are trying to set this for 30 days out, set it for 365 days out.
Mm-hmm.
And rather than having to duplicate the deal and then go in and change the close date, you can actually apply some math. So usually you can see we go to close date and I can say set default value. And here, this little calculator signifies that you can do some math. So I can literally say +1 year.
What?
So now that's been saved. Let's see that in action. As long as my thing loads up. So we have our rep.
What?
Oh, hey, remember that deal? Remember that deal we were looking for? There it is.
There it is.
It popped up. This is like, hey, don't forget about me. So let's look at a deal. Let's call this a new contract, right? Let's grab this new contract deal.
This is great. I'll have 2 questions for you coming. Yeah, David says in the chat, oh, I like the math option.
The math is extravagant. We want to move that from right now. I believe it's just on date fields, but we want to add that to numerical fields as well.
Mm-hmm.
So there's a lot of cool things that you could do. Where, for instance, if you need to increment an ID field, if you need to increment like a membership ID or anything like that, right? So that's kind of one of those things we do. So look at this close date. So right now we have this. I don't want to wait for the workflow to run, but let's say we have this for August 31st, right? Mm-hmm. We're gonna close the end of the month. We're gonna duplicate this bad boy. We're gonna do new contract renewal. We're gonna put this in a different stage, and we're gonna watch that new property of the close date.
Mm-hmm.
Once this loads, let's put it in qualified to buy. Copy that now. Boom. Pretty quick. That works fast. Let's look at my new deal.
2023.
There it is. Close date, August 31st, 2023. So automatically incremented that by 1 year. So now you have your duplicate ready for next year's closing.
Dax, I can imagine. Okay, so now we're not just getting into what's true now. Now we're getting into tickets down the line. You can start to build in. You can start to build in renewals and those motions. You can start to build in tasks for reminders on renewals coming up.
Yep.
So
So you
when
get
I'm able to,
there's a lot of stuff going on. Go ahead, man.
yeah. So this is what David asked about, was kind of getting into these, maybe some of the math part. Tell us about the frequency of billing or start date. How do those properties work? Since the deal moves over, would then the start date on the deal be the day it's cloned?
So that would pretty much be proprietary to your HubSpot. I would believe that if you had a start, if your business or your use case has to do with a start date and it's a date field, it's going to either, again, you could utilize these properties to make it blank, increment it by a certain amount of time. But again, this is by default, so it would happen. Your increment would be consistent across everything you cloned. So I would have to understand more on that use case. But if you can increment it, you can decrement it if it is a date field. But when you clone it, it's going to either be incremented or decremented, set as default value, or not copied at all based upon what you want.
Understood. So if we're running then, let's say we move over and we're just Dax using a workflow and we want to make the clone. I know in workflows we're able to do some of that now. And I know that's a new thing. We're able to change some of those fields. I'm imagining a workflow that's giving me a different term rate based on some qualifier, or a different amount on the deal based on another qualifier, where it's still pulling what it was. I know I'm talking workflow and not clone attack now.
Yeah, so in workflows, you're able to now, which is pretty much new, you can create an object. So you could also copy a property. So when I don't know, you're not able to, I don't think you can increment it. You can change a property, but the challenge would be, hey, I want this workflow. It's almost like you'd have to have two workflows. You'd have to daisy chain, which is always fun. So because one of the things you can't do right now is, if I have, let's say, a workflow that says if it goes to close one, duplicate it, right? I cannot make any changes on that new object in that same workflow, because even there is that property in workflows. It's like reference the output of a previous action.
Right.
I can't think of like exactly the wording of it, but it is like referencing if something happened or something was output, like it created a copy or created a new object, you can use the output of that and then do some changes. So the only way that you'd be able to make that work with Clone Attack is that you would have to do something, put it somewhere, or set a field, because you could technically then set like a magical field by default that's like, do second operation is true.
Mm-hmm.
And then you'd have another workflow that would say, can you do this separate? If I do that, if that's true, then go to the second workflow and then change the properties as needed.
Right. So maybe use Clone Attack to clone it as is, and then you run this second, or maybe you have 5 or 6 of them based on, again, your product set. If we're making a hypothetical that we're using like your product set as the change. So to David's point. And then, okay, now this workflow is going to run because based on the product set from the clone we did, we want these changes. This is a renewal deal. We wanted this amount over these terms. I could see that. See that. Okay. That makes sense to me.
So one of the things you could do, I want to make sure, am I still screen sharing? Am I doing like the inception?
You were for a second. We can't see your screen now.
Okay, it's like I can't get out of it. Is there like a shortcut? You have to teach me Discord like a lot better. Like, is there gonna be like a shortcut or something?
Down at the bottom, it's these here. When you hover over, you just stop it.
Yeah, I'm just saying without jumping on like the
what's
it called, the Discord screen. You know what I mean?
Gotcha.
So, but yeah, like you said, that so the power is you're able to, if you need to do something when to change that workflow, you'd be able to kind of operate that with multiple workflows. But again, remember, you can chain Clone Attack actions as well. So you can be like duplicate, because we don't have like right now we don't have how many duplicates do you want that are automatic? It's pretty much just, if you want to do 3, like, hey, every time I sell this type of deal, I want it to go duplicate, and then I can put them in a separate workflow and adjust some of the properties ad hoc based upon that previous workflow. It's HubSpot, man. You can do so much with workflows. It's like probably one of my favorite parts of it, like with all of our apps, right? Because again, what are we trying to accomplish here? We want these Sprocketeers, we want these HubSpots, we want these super admins to be able to just know how to solve a problem. And some of those problems are going to require this app plus this workflow plus this plus that plus a third. But it's just about, do you have the tools to do it? Is it possible? Absolutely. That's the fun part of it. Like we're just building puzzle pieces, right? This is a very advanced Lego set
That's right.
slash Mad Lib / whatever, right?
Yeah,
like it's
the
a bunch
Mad
of stuff all
Libs
together.
The sequence Mad Lib, the template Mad Lib is the way to go.
Yeah, man. So I mean, shout out to everybody that knows what a Mad Lib is.
Yeah, who took a long car drive enough to have Mad Libs?
Yeah. I smell a noun and it adverb. So all that stuff is super funny. But that's CloneTack in a nutshell. It does one thing well. It duplicates tickets, deals, contacts, and it does it via workflows as well. You can set default properties. You can set math on date properties, and you can bring over the associations. One of our internal jokes was like, we'd always get questions of, does it copy line items? And we wanted to make like, kind of like how you did like at Inbound. I wanted to do like, does it clone lineitems.com? Just so you just have this big yes. We just send people the link because it copies line items. It says in the documentation. But that's one of the key things that people need is I have all these line items for this deal. 50 line items. I had to sit there and do all this stuff for this company. And now they're going to have another deal and I have to do that all again.
Right.
No, you don't. All the properties, all again. It's like for SDRs and biz devs, right? I'm trying to call Sprocketeer and trying to get a hold of Grant, right? I have all this information about Grant already. This height, weight, favorite food, favorite color is probably orange. Favorite food, probably HubSpot for breakfast, HubSpot for lunch. We eat HubSpot all day. But you're able to then say, oh, I called in and I got Gene. Oh, Gene works there too. But now I have to create Gene and all the properties for Gene. But now I can just copy them over from Grant. I can just click boom, copy, and I have his company, all the associations, everything is brought over. So now I've easily kind of, as a biz dev tool, I can easily grab and create more contacts with all the associations needed, associated to the deal, associated to the company. All that's already done with one click while I'm on the phone getting more information with that person. So rather than, again, you can have 50 properties of that particular person or everyone with that particular company, but now you can do that with a click with CloneTack.
Well put, Dax. Nice summary, giving us the use case of how to integrate and put the pieces together. With that, I'm going to bring up the page over on CloneTack. Hit the marketplace up at the top right in your portal. Open that marketplace and search for CloneTack. This is the page you'll see. You can click install right then and there. This is how you get CloneTack. It's in the app marketplace. It is HubSpot certified. So Dax does it big by getting certified by HubSpot. They check, they make sure it works. They're not broken. They're not going to mess stuff up. You're going to be able to see it in the log. You already have the default value that this is a property that CloneTack cloned. And so you can go back and you can see them and you can undo. Like Dax said, you can even do math on date properties at this point.
A lot of fun stuff going on with CloneTack. Super helpful for people that do renewal deals. A lot of helpful people if they just, lots of people use it for lots of different ways. For tickets, this company filed another ticket, but we have all these properties on this ticket that we have to manually set up and manually do. You just clone it real quick, or you do it automatically. When ticket ID is known and company is this, duplicate it. You can do a lot of things with it. So,
oh man,
as always, hit us up. We're here, 8 Labs, patching holes at HubSpot. CloneTack being one of the bigger ones. I know everyone was really upset that for 8 years it was a feature request for duplicating things. That thread has been closed. CloneTack is the answer. It will save you time. It will save you a ton of time. It will save your team a ton of time. You got 50 people spending 5 minutes a day duplicating things. That time is gone. Now you got it automatically. So
that's on the service side. On the service side, a customer service. I would love to be a customer service rep answering the phone using HubSpot. The spyglass on the top right. You click into that and you can type anything in. and it gives you, oh, I haven't found that. Do you want to make a note? Do you want to make a new record? Or if it did find it, it says, here's the thing, and here's some suggestions of other records. And then, okay, if that's not what you want to do, here's a note or log a call. So as a service user, I can only imagine this use case that you're outlining of maybe I'm used to talking to Dax over at A8 Labs, but Jonathan answers the phone. Well, I need to create a new record, but I know I want all, like you said, the stuff from Dax. So I'll clone one first, add Jonathan, and now all of the A8 Labs information I have is there. But then that other call, when I either call back or you guys call me again, now when I go to search, I'm going to get you and Jonathan. I'm not going to be searching for just the name. I'm going to have cloned all of that information and not manually.
Yep. That's the game, man. It's all about the tool, man. We're here, you're here, I'm here, we're all here to make people heroes, to give them the sword, give them like the Masamune. They gotta have it, right?
Yes.
And the way we're able to do that is just one app at a time. This is another tool to turn people into heroes.
What you do so well, Dax, is there's all this integration and migration that happens on the front end, and that's one whole motion. How do we grow into a space we want to live in? But there's also this maintenance that now that we've established this is how we do something, ongoing, how does it work? And Clone Attack for a service person ongoing would just be a godsend to not have to manually clone over all the line items, all the properties. Because I can open that information back up. I already have it in my portal. I just now need it in a new record. As far as a maintenance thing goes, it's going to save so much time for someone who's trying to get all that information on a new record.
This is just a time saver equation. So it's $20 a month. Can you calculate that you would save an hour, for a $20 an hour person a month? Can you save an hour? Don't have a team of 25 people, or one of our clients has a team of 150 people in HubSpot doing deals all day, duplicating, cloning by workflow manually. It's just a time saver. So that's what makes it worth it.
It's a big deal. Thanks, David, for all the questions. Thanks for all of
Appreciate
you
it, David.
Sprocketeers who are, good questions to point out that HubSpot workflows, you can't do stuff like that, but with Clone Attack, you can.
That's what it is. So again, for anyone that needs it, you can hit up 8labs.io. You can email me, Dax@aptitude8. We got everything in. Just go in the ecosystem, search Clone Attack. You know what it is. It's right there. It's certified. It works. It makes me happy. I like aliens. It's the attack of the clones.
It's the attack of the clones.
It's just Clone Attack. I mean, it was cute. We ran with it. I'm excited.
I'm going to go out. I came in with Spider-Man. Dax is my guy. I appreciate you and Jonathan and your team. Always having fun. I'm going to go out, though, as the Batman.
The trust fund baby that you should trust. I'm not the villain. I'm not the villain, I promise.
How's my voice? Is this the good one?
Yeah. It's not. I promise that I'm not the villain. I promise.
Dax, I just want to call out your epic shelving unit behind you, the pillow, the throw pillow you have on your couch there. It's not enough to say that you build dope software. It's that you live and breathe this stuff.
This is I wear my addiction on my sleeve.
And around your neck.
And around the neck. Nostalgia is hell of a drug. I'm sorry. I just live for it every day, just to feel the taste, the smell. Christmas Day, birthday, after school, reading the instruction manual on the bus on the way home, just to get one more chance. So yes, it shows in everything that we do, in every app that we have. Everything was built for us. I put that out to everyone. When you're building things, remember who you're building it for. You got a short time on this earth. You better make sure that you love it and you wake up every single day enjoying it. So every app that we have just happens to, it may be inspired by something of the generation that brought computing into the home.
Into the home.
And it's called a video game. The first computer everyone had was a video game.
all the councils. We might have to do a whole separate thing here, Dak, with just your council rundown.
Oh, we can go down
time.
the list. They all. Yeah, there's a lot of things to talk about. But I bid everyone adieu. Thank you so much for this opportunity, Grant, just to share some of the things that we're doing and try to help people out. This is always a pleasure, and obviously big kudos to you and the Sprocketeer community. You guys, a lot of activity. If you guys aren't in it, comment, subscribe below. Put the join the Sprocketeer community over here. Holler at A Labs over here. Point, click, shoot, all that jazz. But again, all jokes aside, it's a beautiful thing that we're doing for this community. It's a growing community. I love being a part of it, and I thank you again for taking some time today.
Mad respect, Dax. Let's do
all right,
this.
Appreciate everyone. Let's Happy go. Tuesday. Everyone go save their their respective worlds.
Take care. We'll see you on the next masterclass.
Absolutely.